All right, welcome back to The Drift. Today we're going to go remote to a very interesting guy and a interesting product. It's called Wave Boating, and we're going to shoot up north to a guy named Adam, who is behind this product. Adam, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show.
So tell me about Wave Boating. Look, we're all about our devices, right? We're an app society here. We're all about the
Yeah,
devices, and we all need GPS, and we all interact now sociably on social media platforms, whatever they might be, on your Instagrams and your Facebook and everything else. Tell me about how Wave Boating ties in to that whole play. It kind of sort of a combination of navigation and social media, which is really cool. It's really great.
exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, boaters have a need. They want to be able to navigate safely. So we first provide a platform to intuitively show boaters where they can go and where they cannot go using nautical chart data and using their mobile device. But the exciting part on top of that is a platform for boaters to share their knowledge. Um, as many of your viewers will know, there's so much on the water knowledge, but it's in people's heads. So we've built this platform so people can easily share that information.
So, when you say share the information, take me take me to sort of how the technology works. So I download the app, um, and then I can see I've got a sort of social network of friends on the app, or is that how it works? And then I can see where they're boating, see how they're boating. How does the social end of the app work?
Yeah, there's a few different tiers to it. So first off, for anyone who's in your friend network, you can create what we call your own fleet.
Hmm.
So anyone within your own fleet, you can see when they were last active, you can see their username, and you can see where they are on the water. So this kind of stemmed from a problem that I particularly had trying to meet up with friends on the water. Unfortunately, not everyone knew where north was. Landmarks all kind of looked the same. So we built kind of find my friends like functionality for people within your network.
Hmm.
So that's the fleet side of it. As well, we built a kind of map pinning system. Many people have maybe used Waze for driving their cars. We've taken a similar approach, but on the water. So boaters can share information directly to a map, such things like boat ramps, mooring locations, maybe unmarked dangers, beach locations, and they can choose to make that either public to the community or private to their own map.
The build of this platform, the build of this app, is going to be quite involved, I would imagine. Are you a computer geek? Are you a code guy? Are you a boater? How did all this come around? How did you get into this game?
I, Yeah, it's a great question. At first, I'm absolutely a boat geek, I would say.
A boat geek. That's
So I
good.
grew up, yeah, I grew up on the Thousand Islands. Every summer, I was out, fixing boats to get out on the water.
Sure.
And I paid for my education by working at a marina. And that's where I started to identify with the problems that we are addressing with Wave.
Hmm.
A bit about my education. I do have an engineering background. And I work a bit on the mapping side, but I also work with a great team of awesome developers that are working on the mobile development side of it.
So, Adam, it's about being connected with other boaters, correct? Sharing docking spots and hazards and great beaches and sort of boating community stuff, right? And you figured out a way to do it.
Exactly. And, it kind of comes from, I think boaters are a unique community to begin with.
Right.
You wave at complete strangers as you see them go across in their boat. So I think inherently the community itself is already social
Hmm.
and is looking to share. And that's been really one of the exciting things about this product and watching it grow is how willing people are to share that information to our map.
All right. And then you've got the map pinning option, which is a great way to show knowledge of hazards, obstructions. There was a situation in our boating area where somebody had added a dock, and it was an obstruction that wasn't
Yeah.
on GPS mapping. And we'd like for those kinds of things, it's always great for those kinds of things to be more current and more updated, much like driving with some of the social platforms that are out there now on a boating end. So how do you keep this updated? Is it just updates from that boating community that it happens to be boating in that area, and how immediate is it?
Yeah. So the way it works is if you make something public to the Wave Boating Map, it will be shown
Hmm.
instantly. We do have a back end review process, so we will look at pins over time to make sure they're fitting our platform. But most importantly, is what gets on the map really lives and dies by the community itself. So other waivers, as we call them, can go
I
onto a
like
pin,
it.
and if the information, yeah,
Waivers.
if
It's all about
yep,
waving on boats, anyways, isn't it? Some people are waivers, some
exactly,
people aren't waivers, but we want everyone to be a waiver in this case. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah. Absolutely. So other waivers can vote on a pin. So if
Hmm.
they agree with the information that's present, it's still relevant to their body of water, they vote it up. If it's, maybe that dock that you're referring to is no longer a hazard, if enough
All
users,
right.
waivers vote it down, it will be removed from our map.
So I get it. It's a thumbs up, thumbs down thing, right?
It's a
So
thumbs
it's
up,
just
thumbs down. Yeah, easy
yeah, it's a
peasy.
social community. Absolutely. Well, that's smart. That's smart, and
Thank you.
that's right. That's safe too. So I would imagine if I came across something that's not quite right, it gets a thumbs down, right? And if I come across, you know how some boaters are about sharing great places to great anchorages and places to go and places to hang. But if I choose to share that and I want to build a community at that event or anchorage or mooring site, I give it a thumbs up, and I invite others. Right?
That's right. Yeah, that's how you can kind of give back to the information that's there to make sure it stays present on the map.
Is Wave suitable for navigation, or should this be working hand in glove with a navigation system?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think it's always wise to have multiple navigation aids on your vessel, just as a general practice. But I think it ultimately goes back to say what you're looking to do with your boating experience. So, if say you want to cross the Atlantic or you're doing some large multi-day trips, I think absolutely there are great GPS hardware units
Okay,
for that purpose.
sure.
Where our product is a good primary aid is kind of more for the weekend warrior, someone who's going out on those day trips.
Hmm.
This can be a great primary aid for them.
So accessed obviously through a smart device through cellular. Um, what do you have?
Yeah,
What's
so
sort of your secret sauce, so to speak?
right. So I'll step back to the problem that I noticed when I used to work at marinas, which
What did
was
you do at Marinas, by
people.
the way? What did you do at Marinas?
I
Just out of
first
curiosity.
started by just fueling boats
That's
because I was maybe
didn't we
12,
all?
13 at the time.
Sure,
Yeah, and then I progressed to more mechanical related tasks.
I
So
got it.
I'd be the guy fixing that ripped out lower unit after
Hmm.
someone comes limping into the dock.
So you know your way around
And through that,
electronics and wiring and boat wiring and electronics and kind of where a device needs to
oh yeah,
be and how that needs to work. So that's cool. All right. So back to what is
certainly.
that secret sauce? What is that big thing? What made you
Yep,
say, yeah, this is it?
yep. So I would hand people or I would try and sell people a nautical chart, and they wouldn't care to read it or not necessarily know how to. So the first layer of our product was trying to intuitively show people where they cannot go. So
Hmm.
what we developed with Wave is that you input the draft of your vessel when you download the app, and we'll red shade all the bodies of water where you should not go.
Smart.
So really focusing on the intuitive, ease of use boating experience.
Hmm.
That was step one. The next thing that we've actually
Well,
just
that but
recently developed that is, I think,
that's a big step. I mean, for a developer, that seems like that would be the most challenging step. How did you pull that off? Just do you?
Yeah, so it's kind of a multi-stage process. So
Uh,
first step is, okay, where do you get the data from?
mhm,
So we are licensed with Canadian Hydrographic Services, and we grab data from National Oceanic Atmospheric Association. So once we have that data, the next technical hurdle is how do we manipulate it so that we can show it as intuitively as possible. So that was
mhm,
one of the first challenges that we had to manage. And then how do we get that information in front of people? And that's
mhm.
really where mobile technology is so helpful. So we can get it to people's smart devices, get that information to them. And that was really the first big task for wave boating.
You're launching an app to the world. Um, what were slash are the challenges there? How are we getting this to people? How do I get it? How do I use it? How do I tell my friends about it? And how do I share it?
Yeah, so certainly we're trying to get the name out. That's the next
Mm,
big step for us.
okay.
We've had a product out there for 2 years now. It's had great traction, but always looking to get more people on board.
Hmm.
So the app can be found in either the Apple or Google Play app stores. Just
Hmm.
search Wave Boating with two V's, and it'll come right up. One thing probably good to know is the app does come with a 14-day free trial. And right
Ah,
now it's either $3 per month or $13 for the year.
so are there any limitations to where right now at this point in development of Wave, the app isn't available or isn't active?
So it's only available in the Canada and United States stores because
Okay.
that's where we have our licenses for the nautical
Hmm.
chart data.
Okay. So right now, Canada and the United States
That's
active
correct. Yeah.
and good.
Yep.
So I can download the app at the Play Store or at Apple and
Yep.
activate it, and I'm good to go. So is it up
That's
to
right.
me as the boater? Say in my area, I boat on Buzzards Bay in Massachusetts. Say I'm the first to use the app. Now
Yep.
I start to. I would then move forward and start to develop a network of friends of waivers. Is that how it would work? I would invite others, and how do I invite them? Do I invite them through other social media platforms?
Yeah. So right in the app, you can invite anyone who's within your contact list because those are probably the people that you're most
Right.
curious to know
Hmm.
who's out on the waterway, who you want to share that information with. So
Right.
right in the app, you can send an email, send a text to your buddies, and get them on board.
That makes perfect sense, right? Using my email list. So I sort of email blast out to my friends and say, "We're using this app. Really cool tool. Let's have some fun. Let's get waving here, right?"
Exactly. Yeah. Want to easily meet up on the water, share some information, maybe share those fishing holes just to your buddies instead of
Yeah,
everyone. You can do that.
just to your buddies. We covered a shark tournament a little bit ago, and we did some interviews with sort of some of the skippers and the crews that were out there really getting it done. And I got to tell you, when we asked one where they went, they told us, Mary's Pond, which is a little pond in our neighborhood. So yeah, so there's some information that won't be shared via wave, like favorite fishing spots, but
Yeah. Yeah.
certainly favorite, little inlets and restaurants. I would imagine you are eventually going to get to a place where you have advertisers, if you don't already. So I don't know if I'm in a certain area, if a favorite sort of dockside restaurant may want to advertise or shoot out what their specials for the day might be or what their events might be. Is that down the road for you? Is that something that you already have active?
It's nothing that we have active right now. I know
Hmm.
as long as it fit well with our product, it's something we
Right.
consider. But personally, like I never enjoyed using apps that had an advertising like experience. So
Right.
we don't
Hmm.
want that to be given to our users. But moving forward, if it aligns well, like boaters might want to know deals on gas or a great
Right.
spot that has a wing night near them, then if it fits well, it's something we're open to.
So you do allow that. So you would let a user say, "Hey, the XYZ restaurant at the dock has got a great lobster meal." Go, oh, as long as it's not that restaurant advertising, we can certainly share information along those lines.
Yeah. So we actually have waivers already doing that. You'll see people marking restaurants with the great deals as well as the dockage fees involved. So it's really great to see that information already being shared.
So Adam Allure of Wave, thanks for joining. Just want to, well, we want our viewers to know too that it's not, you're not paying us to do this video. We're not, this isn't a paid advertisement or endorsement. We saw it. We think it's great. We like to do this on the Drift, bring out some, talk about new technology, and we wish you well. We will become waivers in
Awesome.
on Buzzards Bay here in New England and get the word out. And best of luck to you. I think it's a great program, and keep it up.
That's great. Thanks so much for having me on the program. It's been a pleasure, and looking forward to the future.
All right, so that's Adam Allure on the Drift of Wave. Sign it up, Adam, one more time. Where do we go to get it? I like the Wave
Head
too,
to
man.
either the Apple or the Google Play stores. Start your 14-day free trial.
So you're a waiver. Just one last thing. You wave, right? Some people don't wave.
Always.
I wave. So I'm a waiver.
Yeah,
You're a
I
waiver.
know,
I guess.
I know. It happens every now and then.
All right, we're all going to be waivers. Adam, thanks a bunch.
I love it. You got to.
All right, we'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Presented by Sociable, original social media programming.